Welcome to welcome. Welcome to the Life and Legacy Masterclass. Hi, my name is McNeill, and I am the Master Wealth Builder. And I want to welcome you to our masterclass today. And we are very excited because we want to talk about what does your ideal life as you live with purpose look like for a profitable business? What does that look like for you? All right. And we want to congratulate you for being here. And if you would consider putting your questions in the chat. If you have any questions, just put hashtag in front of your question so that I know that you have a question and that question will be answered. Now, let me just introduce myself, if you would allow me an opportunity to introduce myself. Again, my name is Ann McNeill, and I am the Master Wealth Builder. And I remind all of you that you are very special just for showing up today. And when you think about your reason and your purpose for being here, we want to talk about what does it mean for you when you invested your time to come here today. Now, for me, I run a multi-million dollar construction company. And on the screen, I have some examples of some projects that we worked on in my 45 years in the construction industry, starting with projects such as the Miami Heat Arena, Hartsfield Airport, Dallas Airport, Palm Beach International Airport, over 50 schools, the Dolphins Stadium, the Marlins Stadium, the courthouse in Miami, so many flagship projects. But I focus on flagship projects, but it was not always that way. I'm the founder of 5 different businesses. The projects I just mentioned, MCO Construction, which I've started over 40 plus years ago, MCO Consulting, which came out of MCO Construction because I found myself over the years helping my clients do business with people that look like me and realized that that was a business of its own. But then people started asking me, would you come and share here? Would you come and speak there? And I began to realize, and that's what we're going to talk to you about tonight for yourself. People relate to you based upon who they know you to be. And based upon who they know you to be, they will determine if they will pay you for that particular brand. Well, over the years, I realized that as a professional speaker, I needed to get the certifications, just like I did in construction. I am a licensed general contractor. Actually, I hold 2 general contracting licenses, undergraduate degree in accounting and a master's in finance, and studied construction while working in my corporate job, studied construction at a trade school while working my full-time job and working on a master's degree in finance. And so this is one of the reasons why I don't take excuses from people that tell me they don't have time. We're going to talk about that. They don't have a dream. They don't have a purpose. They don't have these things. That was me. And one of the reasons why we're doing this is because if you can relate to any of this, then we can talk about how to help you build a life and legacy. Well, in addition to these for-profit businesses, I'm also the founder of the International Mastermind Association, focusing on Think and Grow Rich, the book, which is what got me here from December 31st, 1979, when I first picked up the book. And then the book picked me up, and it's still picking me up all of these years later. But also I'm the founder of the National Association of Black Women in Construction. And right now we're in about 15 cities where we help girls and women of all hue, but especially those who look like me as African-American women, come into this industry at all different levels and focus on building a pipeline into entrepreneurship as contractors. That doesn't matter if you're a laborer, a carpenter, if you're in the trades or the profession, we focus on helping you through that pipeline. Yes, 501c3 and a 501c6. And so we are highly, I did say highly political. All right, now let's talk about also being a national speaker. I am a member of the National Speakers Association, and I volunteered with the Black NSA, which are Black National Speakers, for the last 10 years. Twice a year, I coach that organization on the philosophy of Think and Grow Rich from the book, and we call it the Black NSA $1 Million Mastermind. But as a professional speaker, I cannot tell you anything that's better than sharing your gift with the world and doing it as a business. Now, I'm also a world-class traveler. I love to travel. I love to travel with my friends, and I love to travel with my family. And here we're just some of the scenes from some of the travel that we've done. These are just some pictures, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Travel to Asia, travel to Africa, travel some of my favorite places all over the world, and actually on my way right now to Japan. And again, that's just traveling. It's business travel, it's personal travel, it's just a lot of traveling. But it's a goal, it's a vision, it's a purpose. We're talking about living a life of significance while leaving a legacy. That's what this masterclass is about. This is about you. What does it look like for you to live a life of significance, whatever that means for you, while you are leaving a legacy? These are some recent awards. The first award is from Better Investing. I have been volunteering with that organization for 20 years. And last year, surprisingly to me, I received the highest honor called the George Nicholson Distinguished Service Award from this organization. And it was such a phenomenal honor. My daughter and I, actually, we teach a course with that organization for young individuals, and I have a picture here that's showing that. But this is a small percentage of the 1,000 plus people that were in the audience. And this is a small picture of those who look like me, a very small percentage that came just for that session. And when you're talking about living a life of significance, it is about the money. And so when you think about investing $20, yes, investing $20 a month over 20, 30 years, the net result of that is receiving the power of compound interest. The next picture to that is I just recently this month, received the 2023 induction into the National Academy of Construction. And this is one of the highest honors you can receive in this industry. You actually must have 20, 25 plus years in the industry before they'll even consider your nomination by others. You must be nominated by your peers. And so I'm very honored to have received that. And then this year also, I received the award from the National Association of Women in Construction, their DEI award, Champion of Progress Award. And I received that for the advocacy work that I do in this industry. And also I've been a volunteer and a member of the National Association of Women in Construction since 1987. And actually my involvement with that organization is what led to me starting the National Association for Black Women in Construction to help us also come into the mainstream of this industry. I've authored over 5 books. These are just some of them. I created a process that helps individuals learn how to mastermind for success in your business and in your life. Wrote a book called My Daily Date with Myself. It's a process that I use from journaling, where I ask myself to give me, the Spirit, God, to give me every day 10 ideas, opportunities. And I record them separately. I don't always get 10. Sometimes I get 3 or 4 or 5, and sometimes I may get 15. And I do that every day because I believe that until we reflect and review, we cannot really revise and revisit what we need to do based upon what we decided we want in our business and our life. Another book that I've written is entitled How to Raise a Baby Billionaire. My youngest daughter has been branded as the baby billionaire since she was a teenager. And by age 30, she has, I call it, retired and volunteering at our public library. That's what I call it. And then finally, last year, I published this book entitled, the title is This is Living. And it is actually a daily journal of life lessons that I have learned, that I am learning, and that I'm looking to learn. Lessons that I have learned, lessons that I am learning, and lessons that I am looking to learn. Again, if you have any questions, please put your questions in the chat, and I will definitely get to those questions. Now, if you are a small business and you desire to live your best life and to leverage your legacy through your business, I really want to encourage you to start with the mindset shift from books such as Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You see, I read that book at 9 p.m. December 31st, 1979. And again, as I read the book, I now realize the book was reading me, and it's still reading me to this day. As I lifted the book lifted me. As I began to go through the book, it is doing the same with me even until this day. And even though I'm in the book 2 or 3 times a week, people say, how can you be in the book so often? Well, I'm also in another book, and it is called the Bible. And as a Christian, I do just a little, but it doesn't take but just a little, like that level of bread, that yeast, if you will, to really stay focused on your definite purpose and your desire for your business, but also for your life. And I think that if you are intentional about living a life of significance, but also leaving a legacy, then you will begin to write it out. What does it look like for you? What does that look like for you? Now, but let's go on and talk about that elephant in the room. You know, the elephant in the room, the elephant that most of us seldom, if ever, want to talk about. Now, is this your elephant? Think about it. As you look at this picture, now, whether you're viewing this live, and we want to thank all of you that are here currently live, or if you're viewing it in the future on YouTube or any other platforms, do you feel like you are really, 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 really working hard? Do you feel like that? And do you feel like you have very little to show for as hard as you're working? But that is what we consider to be the elephant in the room. We work hard, but oh my gosh, what do we have to show for it? And as you think about the next here, is this your elephant? You know, sticky notes everywhere, just really being able to just kind of feel like you're all over the place. Is that you? Do you feel like you may be all over the place? No? Well, sometimes it happens that we do tend to be all over the place. Now, as we go to our next slide, I think that it's very important that you think about what's most important to you. And again, I just want to continue to reiterate, if you have any questions, just put your questions in the chat. I want to also ask you, do sometimes you feel like that there's an inability for what you're doing, and you feel like the business level is not actually where you would like it to be? Do you ever feel like that? Well, let's talk about some priorities. As we talk about your priorities, what are they? Is it something such as simple as financial freedom? What about taking a vacation? What about time for yourself? How about time for your family? Time for your family. I would like to stay there. I'd like for you to stay there for a second and think about not being able to take downtime, the downtime you need to really rest and regenerate, and time with your family. That family could be just time with yourself, like I talked about in my daily date with myself journal, where I take time with myself. Yes, married to my boyfriend. Yes, I have children. Yes, I have grandchildren. Yes, I have 5 businesses, but I realize that I am just like a bank account, and so are you. If you're not making daily deposits every single day in yourself before you leave home, people are making withdrawals every single day, and eventually you will find yourself bankrupt. Yes, you will find yourself bankrupt if you are not taking time for yourself. Now, as you think about what do you really, really, really want? What do you really want? Take a moment and put it in the chat, if you will. If you're here with me live, what is it that you really, really, really want? Do you really want financial freedom? How about self-confidence? How about whole life success? What about your success habits? What about a team? What about that word we keep talking about, legacy? Well, I'll walk you through the life and legacy framework that my clients are using to live their best life and to establish their legacy. You see, it is possible for you. Yes, it is possible for you to live your life in the best way possible while continuing to build a financial legacy. And as you continue to do your business, as you take your business to the next level. Now, let's talk about one of my clients. This is Chris McCarron. And this photo was actually taken before we started working together. She said that her challenge was generating revenue, but her challenge was also experiencing the imposter syndrome. Quote, she says, I was barely making enough money to pay my bills, racking up debt and driving a beat up old car. In conversations, I was very self-deprecating and had a negative attitude toward my future. You see, what are your expectations? Chris talked about where she was. Where you are today, I'd like for you to just take a moment and please share 2 or 3 things in the chat that are important to you. 2 or 3 or more if you like, or just 1 if you like. But I want you to make a mark in the sand today. I want you to step over that line today. I want you to have your own 1979 December 31st moment like I had when I picked up the book Think and Grow Rich and my life changed forever. And please, again, ask your questions in the chat, but I want you also to be excited and being a part of this journey, because I am excited to be a part of this journey with you. I'm committed to guide you to get results. All right. But if you have been hustling and grinding, you really need to put some systems in place. Yes, systems for your business, but I like to suggest also systems for your life. You see, if you have been living on government contracts, right? Going from government contract to government contract, you really need to put some financial management processes in place. And I'd also like to suggest you really should consider diversifying your portfolio of business and your portfolio with your money. But we have breaking news. You see, contrary to what you may believe, legacy is financial. You see, because most people think about legacy and the stories that we hear. I'll tell you mine. My legacy from my father was, I wish I coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I didn't. And what he was referring to is that when he moved into the neighborhood in Riviera Beach, where I grew up, he could have bought property for less than $5,000 and $10,000. He could have bought homes for less than $10,000 and $20,000. He could have built homes. And I grew up with hearing, I wish I coulda, shoulda, but I didn't. And as I got older, I transferred that, and I promised myself that I will not live a wish I coulda, shoulda life. And so I then began to take a lot of risks, and I began to do the kinds of things that caused me to walk by faith. I didn't know if it would work or not. Many of them did not work. I had a restaurant, I had a bar, a lot, multi-level. I did a lot of things, but I didn't quit because I never wanted to say to my children and my grandchildren, I wish I woulda, coulda, shoulda, and I didn't. And I did do those things, and I took those chances. But what happened and what's happening for me, which can happen for you, and that's why we're here, I began to grow my self-image, my self-confidence, my character, my faith. This is the breaking news for you. This is breaking news, because oftentimes we just need somebody's faith in us to believe in us just long enough and far enough until we can believe in ourselves. All right. If your business is growing, you have an amazing team. This is what you desire. I would suggest this is what you should want, right? You really want to have an amazing team with you, that this team will allow you to be able to go away for 2, 3, or 4 weeks at a time on vacation. I shared some photos earlier, and one set of the photos was actually from a 3.5, almost 4-week vacation that I had. We took a trip 2 months ago to 4 or 5 countries in Africa. We went with a group, and then my family and I, we decided to, while we were in Lagos, we had planned to go to Cape Town, and we enjoyed Cape Town so very much. We decided to extend our stay another week. I was only able to do that because I have a dream team, 5 businesses, but a dream team in every single one of those businesses. Sure, it would, technology is great, and we have access with the technology sometimes if you have Wi-Fi, but it was not a matter of the fact that I had to physically be there. I did not have to physically call in today. This is every day, but this is what we're talking about for you. What is it that you desire that will help you to have even a week away? How about a weekend with your significant other? How about a weekend with your child or children? How about a weekend with your parents or family or just friends? What does that look like for you? Here is a picture that's one of my favorite pictures, and it is a picture that I took from my balcony while the sun was setting in Panama. And if you see the little dot lights in the background to the right of this photo, those dots are actually ships sitting, waiting for the Panama Canal to open so that they could pass. and took out my phone, took this photo, and I am reminded constantly of the moments that we all create that allow us to go back in our photos of our memories and photos on our phones or wherever we keep photos to just remind us of not just the past, but what's possible for the future. And I've gone back again, actually went back about a month ago to celebrate my granddaughter's birthday. She turned 7. And also a friend of mine was celebrating her 50th birthday party in Panama City. This is a picture of my grandson and I as we were visiting Cape Town. And it says, "Welcome Borders." This is the home of the African penguin. And we had a phenomenal time. A friend of mine picked us up. She lives in South Africa and Johannesburg, and she was visiting her home in Cape Town. Her and her husband picked us up, and we invested the entire day riding through the entire city, the mountains, the water. This is what we're talking about. We want you to look at what's important to you. This is a selfie that I took. Yes, I took this myself. As soon as I got off the plane in Cape Town, this is what welcomed me. This photo in the background that says, "Welcome to Cape Town." This is Cape Town. And this is my 3rd or 4th time there, and it just gets better and better. Now, there are 4 keys that you must master. 4 keys you must master to live your best life. Therefore, but what's your next steps? What are your next steps? Let's talk through those. Your first step is definite purpose. Definite purpose. You see, these are the shifts that I'd like to encourage you to think about for your mindset. The first shift is key number 1. That is your definite purpose. Now, these are some myths that most of us carry, where you may say your purpose is your job, and it must align with the current demands. The next myth, your purpose is just one thing. The next myth, purpose does not exist. The next myth, purpose is the same as passion. And then finally, my purpose will never change. These are all myths. But I'd like to challenge you to think about your self-confidence. And I have an exercise that I do with the self-confidence formula. But if you think about your self-confidence, there is a self-confidence formula that I use with my coaching clients, and it has been life-changing. For myself, I find that in order to identify a definite purpose, I want to challenge you to look at what is your purpose in every single area of your life. What does that look like for you? For me, it starts with my self-confidence. And for many years, my self-confidence was just so low until I literally could go through a, this is a joke, is, yeah, I better, there's power in the spoken words. So we'll just leave that, joke, right? Okay, let's leave that joke. Not a good idea. But self-confidence, now we're talking about the big lie. What is the truth? Oftentimes we hear the big lie, but I like to challenge all of us to make the shift and think about what is the truth for you. All right. Now, the truth, let's go back to the lie. The lie is on the left and the truth is on the right. The lie is that your purpose is your job, and it must align with your current demands of the labor market. That is not true. That is not true. You see, your purpose is what you feel you are called to do, and it may or may not align with the market. Doesn't have to. All right. Now, your purpose is just one thing, and there will be one perfect job that neatly encapsulates all your strength and interests and desires. That's not a truth. Actually, as you live your life, your purpose can change. As you live your life, your purpose can change. All right. The next lie, purpose does not exist. I'd like to suggest that you were put on this earth for a purpose. And even though you have not found it, your purpose will come to you when you are ready to receive it. The next lie, purpose is the same as passion. It's not necessarily true, because you see, purpose is focus, and the reason you do what you do for others is the why. Your passion is a feeling that brings joy and satisfaction to your life. The next lie, your purpose will never change. I think the truth is your purpose can change, especially if it is a significant life event that happens. I'll give an example. My purpose was to get a good job and raise a family, and that was it. Well, I had a life event happen at 9 p.m. December 31st, 1979. And that life event was when I picked up the book by Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill and began to read that book. That was a significant life event. Now I'm going to give you a moment, take a moment and put in the chat a significant life event that has happened to you in your past. It might be COVID. It might be a death of a loved one. It might be an illness. It might be something as simple as becoming a caregiver or being cared for. What is a significant life event that has happened to you that may change how you see yourself, that may change how you see your future? All right, now let's go back to Chris McCarron. You see, Chris McCarron now calls herself prosperous, if you will. She has created what is now called Queen Bee of the Beehive co-working community. And this is a home. She's also a home improvement contractor. And she says, in quotes, in quotations, it's been about 2 years since the initial 90 days, and I still recite the self-confidence formula every day. I live in a beautiful home that I designed. I have joined a stock investing club. I've written a book and created multiple, she says, multiple streams of income. Multiple streams of income. She also says that I'm about to launch an online course and a real estate brokerage. And look at that smile compared to the last photo we saw of her. Now, let's go back now to the definite purpose. What's your purpose? As we move from definite purpose to visionary leadership, as I was preparing for this yesterday, and actually from last week, I began to think about what is visionary leadership if you're not clear about your purpose. What is visionary leadership if you're not clear about your purpose and what's most important to you? What does the end look like for you? I do believe that once you're clear about that purpose and you know what the end looks like and you can back into your visionary leadership, then you can work your definite purpose, grow leaders inside your organization, and really begin to invest more in yourself, but also invest more in others. I'd like to challenge you to think about, as you look at visionary leadership, ask yourself about your self-image. We talked earlier about self-confidence, but ask yourself about your own self-image. What about your own self-reliance as a leader? You know, can you really count on yourself? Do you often complain as a leader and your followers also do the same thing? You know, do you ever really stop and think about a documented process for your leadership? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years in the future. Just stop and imagine what will it look like. And I do believe that this will begin to help you design your leadership skills as you look at not only how do others see you as a leader internally and externally, but how do you see yourself as a leader? Take a moment and think about that, because we're talking about building a legacy. This is the McNeill factor framework, your definite purpose and your visionary leadership. You see, because if you can, we've heard it, if you can dream it, you can do it. But what does that really look like when it comes to your leadership? I think sometimes we take that word so lightly, but it really is about the internal work we must each do on ourselves, not on our people, not on our team, but on ourselves. Because if your future and your destiny, is controlled by your leadership, you have a lot of people following you. And oftentimes you don't know it. And they may be in your organization, if you have one, and it may be out of your organization as they look at you and your leadership styles as a visionary. Just wanted to stay there just for a moment, because I really think that this is so critical to the future of legacy building. All right, but let's move on. Now, we've talked about the visionary leadership, and here are some of the myths. You either have it or you don't. It takes too long to develop. Leaders always know what to do. Leaders must be tough. Leaders are always confident and self-assured. Not always, not always, no. We give you all the resources here required to implement this step, this community, building this community. Now, here is another testimonial. Meet Malachi Monroe. Malachi is the owner of Monroe Media, and he's the founder of Six Figure Med Spa. And his testimony, his quote says, he realized that university was not for him. After leaving the university, he came to Ann McNeill, where she began to become more of a mentor. This allowed me, he says, to see a larger vision of myself. And I now have full control over my life. He got clear on his vision, and in the vision, now he just had his record month in his company of generating $90,000 in 30 days. Now, we've talked about your definite purpose. We've talked about visionary leadership. Let's talk about financial mastery. All right, key number 3, financial mastery. Now, when you think about the myths, these are myths in financial mastery. One myth is that credit cards will get you through. Credit cards will get you through. That was me. You're too young to think about your legacy. That was me too when I was in my 20s and I started this process. Well, I'm 70 now and I still think I'm too young, but I focus on it anyway. Myth number 4, financial advice always has your best interest at heart. And then finally, money can make you happiest. Those are all myths. You see, this is the ultimate transformation, your definite purpose, your visionary leadership, and financial mastery. But you're missing one of these. If you're missing any one of these 3, any one or 2, let's say if you're missing definite purpose, the rest is like a car with wheels, if you will. Any one wheel that's flat, the others are not going to operate properly. Any one that's flat, that's missing, the others will not operate flat. They're not going to operate properly. So if you're missing definite purpose, Or if you're missing visionary leadership, how about financial mastery? If you're missing any of these, it's going to really be hard to get the life and legacy you love when your process is broken. But which one of these are you missing? Can you put it in the chat? Which one of these are you missing? You see, if your business is growing, you have an amazing team, and you're able to go away for those 3 weeks vacation, and you learn that you have saved millions of dollars that will allow you to pass it on to your legacy, if you will. That can be family, it can be a not-for-profit, it can be a foundation, it can be your church, it can be whatever you want to leave it to. I've heard of people leaving their legacy to pets. I would not suggest or advise that at all. But something else I want you to realize, that to experience living your best life and establishing a legacy, you're going to need just one more thing. Can I say it again? One more thing. And that one more thing is mindset. You see, because mindset is everything, everything. You see, a positive mind finds a way it can be done. A negative mind looks for all the ways it cannot be done. I talked earlier about growing up in a life and a family that talked about wish, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I didn't. And so naturally, this quote from Napoleon Hill, when he says a positive mind finds a way it can be done, a negative mind looks for all the ways it can't be done. I realized as a teenager that in my family, that we were always talking about what we didn't have, what we couldn't have, what the other people were trying to stop us from having. But I did not realize that it was packing negative thoughts in me that would take me years to unearth, years to get the blockage out. And I'm still in that process right now, still. You see, so mindset is everything. The new mindset will give you new results. The new mindset will give you new results. So you might say you don't have enough money. You don't have enough time. You might say that. You might say that you're overwhelmed and you don't know where to start. Or you might say you'll never be a millionaire. How about you don't have self-control? How about you don't believe in yourself? Are these your thoughts? What about you're not good enough or experienced enough? These were the thoughts I had. I don't know about you. You can come up with your own thoughts, but these were just mine. You work 18 hours a day if you want to be successful. That's what I used to think. And I thought that if I worked harder and harder, I would become smarter and smarter. But what I did not realize is that that was not focused energy, because I did not know about definite purpose at that time. You might think you don't know people, especially the ones that will buy your product or service. You might be thinking you've tried time and time again, but you never get the results that you want. That, however, is not the truth. But let's talk about the truth. You see, the truth is, start with your time. Do you know how to maximize the 24 hours that you've been given? How about your money? Do you know how to make money work for you? Do you know how to make yourself more attractive to bigger money, for bigger money? I am inspired by a quote that I heard Jim Rohn say, that, in order to get more money, you must become a more attractive person to draw that money to you. And so we're talking about mindset. We're talking about definiteness of purpose. We're talking about visionary leadership. We're talking about financial mastery. All of this is mindset. Millionaire. Do you know the $1 million formula? What does your network say about you? Do you know what your life looks like after you're gone? Well, you can plan on that right now. That's what we like to talk about. How about your self-confidence? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust others? They are related, by the way. Mindset, what beliefs do you have that no longer serve you at your next level? What does your network say about you? We talked about net worth. What about network? Now, uniqueness. What is unique about you that makes you stand out from the crowd? What is unique? Now, their thoughts, these are some thoughts, their feelings and beliefs. This is the mindset formula. As you walk through your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your words, your actions, this is going to give you the results. Your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your words, your actions, and your results. Let's go to another testimonial. This is Galen Bingham, who had a mindset shift. And I like to suggest, because we still work together every week, he's still having a mindset shift like so many others of us. Galen Bingham is with Clean Global Coaching and Consulting. He is the leadership strategist. And he says, since working with Ann, fortifying this is what's happening for him, is fortifying the mental strength that I need to live my dream of impacting the lives of people around me, embracing a life of audacious possibility, the accountability to remain focused on revealing the most noble version of myself, created a bold new world of possibility, anchored in the 13 principles of Think and Grow Rich. And he goes on to share that now he co-hosts actually with me, the Think and Grow Rich Saturday show. He has his own podcast called Whiskey, Jazz, and Leadership, and he masterminds. This is his sharing. Now we'll go to Valencia Warren Gibbs. Valencia is the chief financial consultant of her company. She said that when working with Ann, that I helped to identify, define, and place your desire in front of you while teaching you how to learn from the obstacles, and that goals are a byproduct of the greatest gift of discovering you while helping you to transform in all areas of your life. Bullet 2, she says, trust the process. You have to be ready for what you are seeking. And I would like to add that whatever you're seeking is seeking you. And then she goes on to say, carve and create a path in each area of your personal and professional life. Now she says, wealthier in spirit, this is where she is now, wealthier in spirit, finances, health, creativity, family, and more profitable business by following the guidance and support of the McNeill factor. Now, what holds us back are the stories we tell ourselves. What story are you telling yourself? What's blocking you to get to your next level? Let's talk about the shift. Let's talk about the shift. Living your best life and establishing your legacy is not as hard as letting your mindset stop you from achieving your next big goal. It really is not. If you're waiting for a sign, guess what? This is it. Yes, this is the sign. Now, I don't want you to worry because my team and I are committed to helping you achieve living your best life and establishing your legacy. Let's go back to the ultimate transformation. You see, definite purpose, visionary leadership, and financial mastery. That is the framework. You see, you're going to need all four of these. All four. Because if you want to achieve living your best life and establishing your legacy, you're going to need the following: your definite purpose, your visionary leadership, your financial mastery, and mindset mastery. But it doesn't have to be hard. It really does not have to be hard. I think oftentimes we make it hard just by thinking it's hard. Now, number one, the first step is definite purpose. Identify your purpose. Step number two is becoming a visionary leader. Step number three, creating or crafting and following a financial plan to find new and hidden streams of revenue in your business. And I'll also say in your life. Step number four, with a shift in your mindset, all of this is possible. Let's go over it again. Your definite purpose, visionary leadership, financial mastery, all of this relates to your mindset. And all of this is your ultimate transformation. Now, with our help, yes, with our help, you can deal with that elephant in the room. You can focus on what the real problem is costing you, because it is about the money. What is it costing you in dollars and in time? You see, life and legacy framework, the definite purpose, the visionary leadership, the financial mastery, and the mindset mastery. This is the key. And if you stop and think about your area of strength in each of these, but also your area of weakness in each of these. And I like to add the accountability factor of all of this, because we can oftentimes be strong in one or two, and and time goes by and you look up and you don't even remember the third or the fourth. But if you have accountability, if you have a consultant and a coach who's helping you define, refine, review, reassess this framework, that I think is mastery in and of itself. Definite purpose, visionary leadership, financial mastery. I cannot say that enough. One more time. That is the ultimate transformation. Now, there's no reason for you to have to go and find 4 different programs. You don't need 4 separate programs to piece together a solution on your own. You don't need that. No. This is the tip of the iceberg. You can't reverse engineer this. The tip of the iceberg is only what we see at the very top. This is what you're looking at in your life. You see challenges, you see struggles, you see problems. But what you don't see is what's up underneath that. And I can just say for myself, this journey that I'm on, I do believe I will be on until my last breath. But that vision gets clearer and clearer, and it gets larger and larger and larger. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be. So don't waste time and energy trying to reinvent the wheel. What you don't know could cost you everything. Right now, you're at crossroads. You have a decision to make. It's your decision, because option number 1, you can work on your own and implement what I shared with you on your own. Option number 2, you can let me and my team help you by enrolling in the Life and Legacy Retreat to be fully supported to achieve living your best life and establishing a legacy. Now, our retreat for Life and Legacy Mastermind Retreat is on November 9th through the 11th, 2023. One of my favorite islands in the entire world, the place of my birth. Yes, in Palm Beach County. I've traveled the world, and every time I go, any place, it reminds me of one of my books called Acres of Diamonds that shares a story about traveling all around the world looking for larger diamond, when in fact the largest diamond find is right in your own backyard. And the diamond find is investing in yourself and mining the diamonds from within. Can I say that again? Invest in yourself and mine the diamonds from within. Oftentimes we think it's outside of us. It is not outside of us. It's the diamonds that we find within ourselves that makes all the difference. Now, with that thought in mind, let's start wrapping up. You see, our 3-day mastermind retreat at the Marriott Singer Island Resort. Day 1 is a journey into your purpose. Day 2, a focus on your profit. Day 3, playing and planning for your passion and your legacy. As we wrap up with team, breakfast sessions, lunch on the patio, ocean view rooms, and spending time on the beach and also in the jacuzzi right at the end of this pool. We meet there, some of us, at 5-ish in the morning, and we debrief and catch up from the previous day. And as the sun is rising, we rise out of the water like angels. I know we're approaching Halloween, but like angels, we rise out of the water like doves, and then we take a nice sweltering walk on the beach. And it is just a phenomenal experience. Now, as we wrap up, I just want to thank, actually one of my clients is on. I'm not going to call your name. I am so happy to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us. But what will you walk away with? Creating your legacy blueprint, the end of your life preparation, financial information to help you in this journey? How about greater focus? How about re-energized? You see, everything you need is already within you. Our joy and desire is to help pull it out and put it on paper, but also to make you more conscious and aware that clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. I've been hosting this event now for 15 years, and I do the actual exercises myself. Yes, and that's a large part of why I created this, because so many of these items I did not know, and I don't know who I was expecting to tell me. And then when I realized that no one was going to come, gallivanting in white on a white horse, knight in shining armor, and give me everything I needed to live the quality of life that I desired, that I had to build it for myself, and still building it for myself. Now, I desire to help you do the same. You see, you are not investing in me. You are investing in yourself. And if you need it, you can book a vision strategy call with our team, and we can offer you a 15-minute vision strategy call with one of our one-on-one coaches. I really want to challenge you to put yourself first, okay? And if you are interested in getting more information and having that 15-minute vision strategy call, in the chat on your device, just put the word vision in the chat. Just put the word vision in the chat. And if you're listening to this after the event is over, still put vision in the chat, and we will connect with you for our 2024 event. Yes, 2024. Like I said, this is 15 years I've been hosting this event. We will be back at the same property in 2024. And whenever you're listening to this in 25, 26, just put vision in the chat, and we will follow up with you, even if it's 2028. Yes, just put vision in the chat, and we will follow up with you. All right, the time is ticking. How much is it costing you not to solve some of your problems? And the challenge with problems, oftentimes we don't know what we don't know. And as a result of that, we have money going out the window. As we age, we become more conscious and we say, some of us, wow, I wish I could have, would have, should have put down $20 a month on that stock. Oh, wow, I wish I could have, would have, should have gone on more vacations with my family. Well, you can change that. Our program is a 3-day event. We're going to encourage you to become a part of it. It's on sale. If you pay in full, it's only $5,500. And if you want a payment plan, it's only $5,600 of 2 payments. But put in the chat, if you're interested, the word vision in the chat, and we will follow up with you. Now, your investment, as I said, is just 2 payments of $2,800 if you desire. And if you decide to participate with us in 2024, you can do that also. All right, if needed, we can offer you that 15-minute vision strategy call. All right, want to just share that again. Now, I'm going to start wrapping up with this testimonial from Wyman Wimbush. And before I share his testimonial, I just got a text from him. He is in Zimbabwe, and he is in Cape Town, South Africa. And this trip he took was as a result of watching me over the years travel 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year internationally, locally, with my family, with my team, and just really enjoying life. And at the beginning of the year, I went to Asia with my friend Beatrice Lewis-Saint, and we had the best almost 20 days that you could experience. 6 different countries, 7 different countries within Asia. And it was just the trip of a lifetime. And a few months after that, I had the pleasure of going to South Africa, going to Africa, different parts of West Africa and South Africa. And now I'm on my way to another trip, and we'll probably have another trip before the year is out. And I say that because, again, life is worth living, but I am so inspired and encouraged when I hear from other people who watch me, because I do put I put it on social media wherever I travel. And I usually will do day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, wherever we are. I'll take a snapshot, put some copy on it, just let people share in the moments. And so many people, I've had 4 people so far this year to actually take trips. And actually one of our, the president of our local Compto chapter, Bruce Guyton, just came back from the same place that I was in Cape Town, because he watched the videos of I Facebook Live when I was in the air, on the plane, going through the mountains and over the water in Cape Town. And then we took the bus tour, we took the water taxi, we did all of these things. And every single day I shared where we went. And when I came back, he booked this trip, and he just got back. And I'm not going to share his entire story, but he left single, but he came back not single. We'll leave it like that. So whatever you're seeking, yes, it is seeking you. Now to wrap up with Wyman Wimbush says, now he's an MBA captain in the armed service. He said, many know Ann McNeill as the master builder. And equally accurate descriptive is an advocate to, I would say, for success. And anyone who meets her will attest, I'm laughing at myself, will attest to her willingness to do whatever she can to coach, mentor, encourage, and connect you with resources that position you for a better life. It is seldom that you see someone who derives so much pleasure in championing the success of others. Her sage counsel and words of wisdom are treasured by many. These are only a few of the attributes that make every chance to work with Ann McNeill an opportunity to become a better you. So those are Wyman's words. And I laugh because yes, they are true. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Again, the choice is yours. The 3-day event, I think, is a lifetime investment. And that's exactly what it is. I've made a commitment that as I elevate my life and I help others to elevate, this investment next year will not double. No, it will triple. You can write it down. Next year, it will triple. So I just want to share that because oftentimes we delay, and that's what it costs. I've made a lot of decisions in my life, and I think back on the ones that I made quickly, and then the ones I delayed. And the ones I delayed did cost me later to make a larger investment. Last time I did this podcast, this masterclass, this conversation with you, I shared about my car and how I delayed in making a decision. And now I am paying dearly because I did not want to invest in the moment more, not realizing the investment I'd have to make later on. All right, so as we wrap up, let's get started. The McNeill Factor, Your Life and Legacy Mastermind Retreat. Right now, we are wrapping up. We're wrapping up, and we want to thank you for taking the time. And again, if you've put in the chat, even if you did not, we will communicate with you and follow up with you later. I want to wrap up with my favorite video. This is a photo of one of the years, a group of us. And we do cover the brothers, and we do have brothers that have attended. I tend to only can do one brother a year. So if you're looking at this and thinking about joining us, there's only one spot for a brother each year. And yes, only one a year. And you can think about that. But let me finish with my favorite video that I love to close with. Thank you. My why really is the fact that you really can think and grow rich with a spirit of excellence, in the spirit of service to God. I came from absolutely nothing. So there's no excuse about why I cannot help literally millions of people, but I have to start with one, and that one is myself.
Such a gift. The way that you have curated this space for people to be safe, to be seen, to be heard, to be validated, to be encouraged, to be lifted up in a way that allows them to see beyond what they may have ever even dreamt to be possible is special. It's a blessing, it's a gift, and it's transformative.
Thank you for opening my eyes to what it is I need to do, how to do what I need to do, and sharing your life experiences so that I don't make the mistakes.
You need to surround yourself with individuals that see something in you that you can't see. Because once they see that, then they will keep bugging you because they know better is in there. And that's what she has done for me. She saw my better when I couldn't even see it.